guys, I hope you're having a great week. I want to spend a little time with you and talk about our next artist highlight for the week. We're going to talk a little bit about the Gaither vocal band, which was started by Bill Gaither and his wife, and then we're also going to talk about a friend of theirs, Mark Lowry, who traveled with them and sang with their like big family group band. And this group is really famous for a lot of gospel music, and you actually probably know several gospel songs and don't even realize it. Gospel is a term we use to define a very specific type of praise music and singing. Some of the songs that you may have grown up listening to in yours or maybe your grandparents' church, those songs that praise God and talk about our faith, they a lot of times stem from gospel music. And gospel comes from like the old traditional music that we think of in like African American spirituals. So when we think of like swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home, and that style of singing that's very simple, or as I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who should wear the robe and crown, good Lord, show me the way. Those kinds of songs are very simple ideas that are easy to repeat. And gospel music is kind of like that. It starts with a really simple melody, a simple music that we can all kind of remember and pick up on, and it gets stuck in your head. And then it builds, right? So then you layer harmony, that extra stuff on top, and it starts to sound really good. But the idea is still pretty simple. And that's what the Gaither vocal band does and did. Something that they did, they would write music that was really easy to remember, and the song that you're going to watch today includes like that group, and then also one of my favorite comedians, Mark Lowry. Now, you've probably not heard of Mark Lowry, but he was one of the, not original, but one of the most famous Christian comedians, and he got started by singing gospel music, by singing Christian music, and he would travel around with preachers and with different groups, and this is back like before even I was born. I know, really old. And he would go to these churches and he would sing in between these speakers and stuff. And then it started being this thing where like he would have music accompaniment, and that was on a cassette tape or sometimes even a record, even older than that. And those needed time to rewind and reset and get ready for the next song. And when he was waiting during those times, like at a church, so maybe they were having a potluck and he was singing, when he was waiting for his music, he would chit chat and talk with his microphone. And he was just funny. And part of why he's funny, we're not going to watch this today, but I want to tell you a little of his story. Part of why he's so funny is he's very honest, and he kind of speaks really fast. He's a little crazy and a little kind of silly. He makes a lot of funny faces. And as a child, when he was in school, he was diagnosed as hyperactive. Now, we have a lot of different terms for things like that now. Hyperactivity is just kind of a blanket term, right? But that could be anything from ADHD, ADD, maybe even some dyslexia. Lots of different things can kind of be grouped in that idea of not being able to maybe control all of your energy. And while we do need to learn to use our skills well, it's okay if they look different. And one of the things I loved about him, he even talks about that in his testimony, in his story. He had a third grade teacher who really cared about him and really listened to him and realized that he didn't learn like everybody else. And sometimes it was too hard for him to sit still. And rather than just punishing him, she tried to help get him some assistance, some help. And she would take him on walks when he needed to move, or let him stand up and kind of wiggle around. But the biggest thing that she told him was that God likes hyperactive people. He doesn't just love them. We know he's God. He loves everyone, right? But he likes hyperactive people. He likes people that are different. He likes me even though I wear glasses, or because I don't read fast. He likes me no matter what. And that was something that stuck with me. And I love his comedy because he's very real and very silly, but that's a big part of his story. And so in this video, you're gonna hear him singing, and he sings great, and he's also kind of silly. But the coolest thing with him is he uses that kind of zany, silly, hyperactive personality for good. And that's something else that his teacher told him. She said, God is going to use you, Mark, and he's going to use you to do great things because of your personality and because you're so crazy and fun. And so in this video, you're going to see him being silly, and obviously it's kind of planned, and they're just being silly and playing along. But Mark Lowry's even written some songs. He wrote Mary Did You Know, the Christmas song about the mother of Jesus, and he's become great friends with Bill Gaither, the head of that band. And so you're going to see them kind of interact and be silly. And I hope you enjoy this awesome song that we're going to hear, Jesus on the Main Line.